one of the most fundamental problems between the Generation X and millennials with the Generation Z, Zoomer, and the Generation Alpha and Beta is related with not just behavior and attitude towards the money and material belongings, but also it's towards the life's goals, basic understanding of the lifestyle. If you have a look at the people who are uh, at the time of 1945, I'm talking about the Generation X, who are right now kind of our very grandfathers and grandmothers, and our fathers and mothers who are from, I say most of the time, generation uh, millennials. We are the actually sons and daughters of these two generations, generation millennials and generation X, and generation boomers also included in this generation. These three generations, they are very focused on money, production, and their obsession towards the increased opportunity cost with regards to financial stability and the health of the financial aspect is absolutely different from our understanding of the world. That's why when you have a generation like this, it it has profound impact on its upbringing. You see, during 1980s in Bangladesh, we had a generation which got out of the 1971 liberation war, and it started getting to the very fore that the polarization started to grow. When the new generation of 2000 or after 1999, new generation started, they started talking about a different kind of world. They were free from corruption, nepotism, societal illness, and most importantly, financial irregularities. I mean, this generation now everyone is talking about the generation Z, but not the generations Alpha and Beta, which is far more connected. And this generation have to be taken into account. These two generations have been at the very core of our understanding of the world right now. They are the defining generations. Right now, the policymakers, the politicians who are at large taking these decisions in the defense, in the foreign ministry, culture, economy, they have to understand keeping this whole generation, you cannot actually have total trust on this generation. They are focused. Then you cannot actually convince or manipulate this generation of alpha, beta, even generation Z, because they focus on the social media's influences rather than how much you are earning, how much money you are actually generating as a national revenue. They don't focus on that. They have to be convinced with regard to your excellency. I mean, this is a generation which is no more focused on money, material belongings. They're now prioritizing the quality of life, the self dignity, honor. This is what you have to understand. That's why a generation which started exploding back in 2009 after 2024, they started questioning the power. They challenged the regime of fascist Hasina at the time, that they wanted to dethrone her just because they disrespected that very regime, disrespect the generation Z, generation Alpha, and even, I mean, generation Beta is right now moving forward 2025 after 2039. That's an upcoming generation, but I'm talking about these two generations, generation Z and Alpha. They were so much angry at the fascist Hasina, they dethroned her from the power. So right now, those people who are in power, they have to understand that you have to, for the first time, convince them with regard to you, with your narrative, not with your money, not with your production issues. They are not obsessed with how much money you are making, how much you are generating. They, even a rickshaw puller or a street vendor, they are far more better policymakers in some way, because they have the very practical and pragmatic know-how. Not the people who are schooled in the so-called universities. Naturally, we don't have the university in the country. We do have some schools, I would say. They don't have kind of excellencies. Now it's better the generation Z and Alpha and upcoming generation Beta, they have to actually remove this communication gap with the generation X, millennials, and even boomers. Some of the boomers are still alive. They can actually help, be a helping hand to find a common ground that these upcoming generations, they don't want this sort of, they're not obsessed with the opportunity cost and the marking and the Machiavellian understanding of making a lot of money. They're obsessed with respect for life, pursuit of happiness, and quality of life. That's what actually the upcoming regime should focus on and concentrate. Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you.